like it literally, Clay, it literally has turned into just a popularity contest. It's not about competitive fights. Like when I saw the card, am I overly joyed? Like, oh my goodness, no. But as a boxing fan, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be competitive. You know what I'm saying? Like, good competitive fights.
Yeah.
But
listen, man, I saw it. Like I said, I wasn't that excited either.
Right. I wasn't jumping up and down, but I'm like, all right, it's solid competitive fights.
Yeah, I don't see what like the disgust is about. You feel what I'm saying? I don't get that the disgust. I mean, I get it because I know the people who are screaming is disgusting. I know who those people are, so I get that. It is what it is, man. I don't even trip no more. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like they do what they do. They're they do what they're expected to be done. Like they're triggered. They're not what's the word? They're not out of protocol, right? They're not out of they doing what's expected for them to do, and to the point where people can market and plot around the motions. Right. They factor it in already. No big deal. Like here we go.
Right.
You guys.
Just to me, it's just disappointing. Like you know, and again, Clay, like you said this some time ago when you said maybe you take boxing too serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe we all do. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I look at it like this, right, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Every week you don't get the best against the best.
Nope.
Every game ain't the best from top to bottom. Now some weeks you get some you might get 6 great games, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm, great matchups. And some weeks you get some okay matchups. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But you look at the matchups within the matchups. That's what makes it exciting to me.
Facts.
I say this all the time, right, Clay? Boxing is top heavy, extremely top heavy, right? So more times than none, you're going to get mediocre pedestrian fights as far as namesake goes. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The rest is just going to be you got the upper echelon, but like Andre Ward said, you ain't going to fight the best fighter every fight. No. That's not going to happen. But you can fight solid, tough fights, you know what I'm saying, competitive fights every fight.
That's a real talk, man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So is this the greatest card from top to bottom? No. Right? Nobody claiming it to be. But to say it's just, oh, this is absolute trash. It's disappointing. Who did you want to see, Clay? Because he done put everybody on already. Shakur done fought. T.O., Devin, Ryan, Roley, Arnold Barboza, Boots, Ennis. These dudes got fights coming up.
Straight up.
So, Clay, who could you put on the undercard at this point? Martin Bacoli just fought. Joseph Parker just fought. Shakur just fought. Anthony Joshua got hand injuries. He can't fight. Shiraz just fought. Tank-Roach fought already. You know what I'm saying? On the undercard, Antuanne Russell and Ryo fought already. Pitbull Cruz fought already. What's his name? Puello already fought.
Right.
Like, who's there to fight that we could put on the undercard that we could be like, man, this guy ain't fight yet. Who? Fundora got a fight coming up. Crawford is waiting for the Canelo fight in September. Mm-hmm. Right? Boots got a fight coming up in April. So who is there? Who's left to fight? Tyson Usyk is waiting for Joseph Parker. Daniel DeBose got sick and injured. He might fight Joseph Parker. Tyson Fury retired. Okay. Jared Anderson just fought. Right? Mm-hmm. So who could we pot? When people say these things, I don't think people take into consideration and understand that, hello, all these fighters pretty much just fought. Ain't nobody fighting in within a month. That's the downfall of getting stacked cards from top to bottom, Clay. Because
Oh yeah,
for the next 3-4 months, none of those guys is gonna fight.
that's a fact. And it's also a downfall spoiling people too at the same time as well, because people can't never come back down to earth, you know what I mean? And deal with the reality that, you know, not all these fights are you know, not all these fights are your top fights. I mean, it is what it is, man. They're not really boxing fans, so they don't really watch. You know, they like the football fans that just, you know, watch like maybe the playoffs and call themselves football fans, or they'll just watch the Super Bowl. And then you got the people who watch Super Bowl just for the commercials, right? Like it don't. They're not watching it throughout the season. They're not watching the sport. They're not into the sport, so they don't know the significance of anything happening in the sport. They're just there for the biggest show possible, the fireworks, you know what I'm saying, the halftime show, the biggest show possible is what they watch it for, and they don't watch it the rest of the year because it's not the Super Bowl, right? That's why they don't watch it the rest of the year, because the halftime show isn't like that. All the commercials isn't like that. It's not moving that way. So, you know, they're here to eat the tortillas and nacho cheese and jalapeno cheese dip, and eat the wings and have drinks and distract you from the game when you're watching the game, right? You got to entertain them and watch the game, because they don't really care about what's going on in the game. They're waiting for the halftime show to kick on. That's what they're doing. That's what they do, man. So they're not watching box. They don't care that they're putting out events for you consistently, that they're giving you boxing. They're giving you boxing. The same thing's going to happen when they do the TKO Turkey deal. They're going to be too busy throwing shots and saying, who the hell's that? Who's the hell that? I've never heard of that person. Please, I ain't asked for that fight. I ain't asked for this fight. That's what they're going to be saying the whole damn time. Meanwhile, there's going to be consistent boxing going on, you know what I'm saying, that you can expect. And it's going to be building up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and better. And one day, all of a sudden, they'll be in the room watching the biggest show possible. They'll be right in the room watching TKO. And they know already, like, it's kind of like I say with the Democrats in our community. They don't even bother doing nothing for you no more, because they know you're just going to, when it's all said and done, you're going to come right over here and we already got your vote. It's everybody else we need to focus on. Y'all going to do what y'all need to do, so we ain't going to give you nothing no more.
Hillary Maxwell, see, let me address what you said. You said that's why I've always said you can be a fan of a fighter, because in every other sport, you got people who are just fans of players and fans of teams, right? And then you said there's no written rule that you have to be a fan of anything specifically. No, here's the problem with that, right? The problem with that is this, is that, yes, you're right. You're 1,000% correct. The problem with that is, Queen, is this, is that you can be a fan of a fighter and not a fan of the sport. But you cannot be a fan of the fighter and be arguing with people and trying to debate people when you only a fan of a fighter. Because then you don't even know what you're talking about, because you're not paying attention to everything else. In other sports, you have people that are not fans of teams, but they're fans of football. Right? You're not going to be a fan of a team in no other sport without being a fan of the sport. That's the difference. You could be a 49er fan. How could you be a 49er fan but not be a fan of football? That doesn't work. In boxing, you could be a fan of a fighter and not a fan of boxing. That's what makes fools of people. Because people emotionally attach themselves to fighters emotionally, then they're emotionally speaking, and then they make themselves look like fools. Because they are attaching themselves to a fighter as if the fighter is a family member or a loved one. And then they emotionally speak, and then they make themselves sound silly because you're emotionally speaking and you're not a fan of the sport. So you don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking out of turn. You can be a fan of boxing. You have to be and please, fellas, please do me a favor. Don't disrespect the queen. Please. She didn't say nothing. She's not being disrespectful. She's not talking out of turn. She just spoke her piece. Why are we disrespecting her? Come on, let's show class over here, my peoples. Let's show class. We don't know. I mean, come on. Let's respect the queen. We respect everybody, queen, or all the queens until proven otherwise.
For sure.
It might be fake. I don't know, but we don't know if it's fake or not. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that'd be messed up if that's actually a dude going ham right now, King.
I
They're
mean,
getting smarter and smarter then.
I've had it happen to me before. You know what I'm saying? But where it was a whole dude that had 2 women's accounts. But again, I don't know if it is or it's not. So let's show the queen respect. I never seen her hair.
Right.
So let's show her respect.
For sure.
And she didn't disrespect. She just speaking her piece. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
She didn't say something out of turn. What she said was valid. It's just that the problem is, AK Crowder, what's up, my brother? The problem is that you could be a fan of a fighter, right, Clay? And not a fan of boxing. But you can't argue with people that are fans of boxing because you emotionally speaking, because you attached to this fighter. Now that's where the problem comes in. That's where the lines get blurry. Because now you speaking out of term emotionally because you emotionally attached, and now you want to tell people like myself and you about the sport of boxing, and you don't know nothing about the sport of boxing because you're a fan of a fighter.
Right.
That's where the difference lies. I don't have no problem, Clay, with people being a fan of a fighter.
Right.
My grandmother, Clay, didn't like boxing at all whatsoever, but she knew Muhammad Ali, and she knew specific certain boxers.
Right.
Right. And so she was a fan of these of specific fighters. And my grandmother Clay, she used to order fights, Mike Tyson fights, and this, you know what I'm saying? And she wasn't a fan of boxing, but she knew the boxers.
Right.
Same with my mother, right? My mother, let me not speak too much, but because then people start putting 2 and 2 together. But my mother knows famous boxers. You know what I mean? She's been in Mayweather's gym. She's my mother don't like boxing, but she's been in Mayweather's gym. She know who these people are. She know who the trainers are because my mother's friends with the wives of trainers and so on and so forth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my mother don't like boxing. She don't watch boxing. You know what I mean? But she know who boxers are, and she'll tell me like, you know, oh, my mother called me handsome. Hey, handsome, you know this guy X, Y, and Z is fighting, and I'll be like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. I was just, you know, she was just around them with them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But she don't, you know what I mean? Like she couldn't tell you. She couldn't tell you nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? But you know, so again, now imagine because my mother is around the fighter, Clay, and she knows the fighter, and she knows his trainer or his father or his mother, right? And now because we like, hey, that fighter is ducking this or doing that, and then she'd be like, no.
Right.
You don't even watch boxing. What are
You're not even watching them fight, right? You don't even know what's actually going on out here. You don't even know
what's going on, but you taking it personal because you're emotionally attached to.
Right. She knows him on a personal level. She's bumping. She talked to them. She's like, "That's a good young man. That's a good young man right up in there." And I don't know. You ain't gonna talk about him bad about him in front of me.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Like my Hope Nell salute. He said, "Blue, that's how you know everybody." I listen. I told people this before. Larry Hazard is my uncle. He's legit my uncle. But again, like I said, you know, I became a late fan of the sport of boxing. I always, I was always in and around the sport of boxing, but I wasn't a diehard fan. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I was always a fan. Let me rephrase that. I was always a fan of the sport of boxing. I always supported the sport of boxing, but I wanted to be a football player. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my thing. That was my goal. That was my dream. Play football. You know what I mean? And but again, like I said, my uncle best friend, my uncle passed away now. His best friend was a Golden Glove boxer. It just was around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't. It chose me. I didn't choose it. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And so, again, like I said, imagine my mother debating me.
She
Like
wouldn't
my
be
mother
debating. You should just be yelling at you.
right.
She wouldn't be
Like
debating. You should just be.
I'd be like, Ma, you sound crazy. Maya Egypt, peace of blessings, queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know, you know what I mean? That's the problem, Clay. And Hillary, that's the Maya Egypt, peace of blessings, queen. How you feeling today? Uh-oh. Band up, what up, nephew? So that's the thing, right? You can be a fan of a fighter. The problem that we have with Tank, right, Clay, is that people are emotionally attached to Tank because not because of what he does in boxing. They emotionally attached to Tank, Clay, because of other things. You know what I'm saying? They identify with him with. Like people love to come in and say, oh man, he from the trenches, he from the streets. They all from 95% of them are from the trenches and the streets. It's a poor man's sport. But because he picks up the quote unquote culture, the hip hop culture or whatever, then people attach them. Yeah, Tank, that's my dude right there. You know what I'm saying?
Because he look like a drill rapper,
right? So they pick up. Oh, that's my dude right there. That's my dude. Like, but they don't know boxing. So then they come here blindly trying to defend something they know nothing about and make themselves sound silly. No, you could be a fan of Tank Davis. I have no problem with that. But don't come here trying to debate me and Clay and talk about me and Clay as haters because we speak in facts and because you emotionally attached to him. That's the problem.
Fact.
Lance Shepard, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco. He said May 2nd, I'm gonna be in Times Square for the fight. Blood Claymore. Hopefully I can catch up with y'all out there. Y'all know how we're gonna sell the ticket. How they gonna sell? It's free.
Yeah.
Lance, it's free. It's first come, first serve. So I guess it's gonna be like it keeps changing.
Right.
T-Buzz, what's up, family? It keeps changing. Irvin LeGree, Daryl Brown, what's up? One day I heard it was gonna be he's trying to make it thousands, and next thing I heard that he's trying to do 600. Then now I heard it's gonna be no more than 1,000. I don't know how it's gonna work. You know what I mean? I don't know. I heard two workers that work over there, and it's gonna work on setting it up. They told me that they have New York has a capacity or some sort of limit, Clay, that
like New York, period.
Yeah, like they can't exceed a certain limit of people in that area or something like that.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, they got to regulate it, so that makes sense. They're gonna have to figure it out.
They got to regulate it. You know what I mean? And so that's what I heard. So I don't know how true that is, but again, I guess we'll find out as details unfold. He said that is done. Turki Al-Sheikh said everything was done. He's gonna announce everything on a boots card or something like that in the coming time. But again, like I said, I don't know. I'm hearing so many different people, and these are credible people. Like, no, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. So, but I do know everybody is consistent with saying it's gonna be free. I do know that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be free. You know what I'm saying? G tatted up. What up, nephew? He said, Unc, I'm a huge fan. I'm Unc, I'm here, and I'm a huge fan of Tank because of what he's done in boxing. The difference is I just respect all fights and all fighters equally. And I can respect that, right? The only pushback I would say is, what has he done? Now, I'm speaking from a different perspective than you, right? Because I'm an old school boxing fan like Clay, right? Like Kurt Anderson. If you ask Kurt Anderson, you say that to Kurt Anderson, he's gonna be like, what did he do?
Yeah, it's specifically when you say, because what he's done in boxing is like, all right, that's cool. What has he done? I mean, man, like I can respect the idea that kind of like I don't want to say Allen Iverson to a degree. I'm gonna say Allen Iverson to a degree because maybe Allen didn't get the championships and do all those things, but he brought a certain energy a certain swag to the game. You know what I'm saying? That's resonated in the game to this day, that you see people, you know what I mean, continuing as far as like, you know, traditionally, you know, just as far as the looks, the braids, the tattoos. I get the nuance of it all, right? That people celebrate when it comes to Tank. And he did bring that energy. But as far as boxing is concerned, you know what I mean, did he bring, you know, did he bring anything accolade wise to the game? Any of the big fights that you wanted to see in the game? No, he brought himself. He showcased his talent and in his explosive talent that he brings to the ring, and those are all great things. You know what I mean? Those are all great things. But when it came to, you know, pushing for the biggest fights and, you know, the idea of the best fighting the best and things of that nature, he didn't check those boxes. Not yet. Maybe he will in the future. Who knows? But he hasn't done it yet. And the pushback's always going to be there for that. It's always going to be there for that, you know, and you guys will be fighting this fight forever 10 to 15 years from now. That'll be the conversation if he doesn't fight some of those fights, you know, because all the greats in this sport did do that. That's why they were considered great. You know what I mean? People who didn't do that weren't celebrated that way. But he'll always get that celebration for the nuance, you know what I mean, that he brought to the table. He did bring that, right? Other people were doing it as well, but he became very popular. You know what I mean? He carried himself with some people call it feminine energy. Some people call it, you know, whatever you want to call it. But he brought like this swag, this carefree energy into the ring. And that's cool. That's cool when the people who he fought against, but he didn't fight the best. Not yet, at least. We'll see what he does in the future.
And the whole thing with the tattoos and all that has been done before too.
Jersey, yeah, I know that's been over. Jersey Bob, see, that's what I was saying. That's what I said, didn't even want to say, because I know people are going to say that. That's the truth. As far as basketball is concerned, he scored on everyone. He was an MVP of the entire game. He played against the best. Tank, yeah, I know that. I knew that's what was going to go. That's why I was reluctant to say, but I was talking about more of the look. I'm talking about
the aura he brought.
Yeah, the aura, the rebel energy, you know what I'm saying? The rebel spirit, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was talking about. But I agree with you, Jersey Bob. That's why I didn't want to bring it up, because he was an MVP. He you know what I mean, he scored like crazy. He played against the best. He did all those things, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I try to bring it full circle for G Tatted Up as far as the pushback that Blue was talking about that we would give, if, you know what I'm saying, when you say something like that.
Right. It's the aura that Tank brings.
That's all I'm saying.
Because it's similar, right? Like Allen Iverson wasn't the first one to wear tattoos and braids,
right?
In basketball, but he just made it a thing, right? Like Dennis Rodman had tattoos and stuff way before Allen Iverson,
right?
And had the colorful hair, you know what I'm saying? And it was plenty of players, you know, but he just brought a different type of aura, the way he carried himself, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I understand it's the way Tank carries himself, you know what I mean? He's excited. I know the comparison, right? He's undersized and he's explosive and he's exciting. That's Allen Iverson. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't fit the mold. Like, he's undersized, he's explosive, he's exciting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, practice. You talking about practice? Right. You know what I mean? That those moments, like, you know, the rebel, they just trying to stop. You know, just I understand, but at the end of the day, that's you know what I mean.
But Clay, Shakur Stevenson. Now, I want to ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did Shakur Stevenson talk himself into a problem with this, saying that he would accept the fight with Gary Anton Russell?
Maybe. Listen, Gary Antuanne is a he's really like that. But maybe not. Maybe he's really that good, right? How about he's really that good? How about he really can, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he really can handle that. If Gary's talking about coming down to 135, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he can.
But the problem is, right, Clay? And salute to Jarrell Freeman, brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco. He said, salute, Blue Clay. Did you ever try out that VR boxing? What's that?
Yeah, I was supposed to download that. I think nah, I didn't get it. I don't know. Did he? I definitely didn't play it. I know I could download it from my phone, but nah, it's talking about on the God, somebody help me here on the thing. I got this stupid thing, the thing with the mask, the virtual thing, but what is it called again?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That my son got that.
Yeah, the VR. But what's the name of the system again, man?
Yeah, you put the thing on and you got that two handles.
Yeah, Oculus. The Oculus. Thank you, Gerald Freeman. Yeah, on the Oculus. Yeah. No, I haven't done it yet. They have the boxing game on there, the VR boxing everybody's talking about.
Yeah,
Salute,
I'm gonna have to try that. I heard it's great exercise too.
That's why I was telling them that day. I'm like, I need to do something, but I was sick all last week, so I was.
Yeah, I still hear it. I still hear it.
Yeah, but I'm better.
I was listening to you earlier. I'm like, bro, still sick.
Yo, bro, I'm better, like way better. Like, trust me. But yeah, I still got the congestion in my chest a little bit. I'm still a little, nasally. Still dealing with all that, man. But I feel way better. I feel way better. Like as a whole, I feel way better. I felt crazy last week. That's a fact.
Salute, great brother Charles Edward Cheese. He said he did what Gary is insane. Yeah, and that's the thing, right, Cheese? Because people was hitting me and they like, bro, Shakur trying to backtrack with the extra statement. So the first statement he made, somebody said, you going to 140 for Tio, would you go there for 140 for Gary? And he said, hell yeah.
Who Shakur said that?
Yeah. I didn't know he said that.
He said he'd go to 140?
Yeah. I didn't know he said that.
You see, that's the stuff I'm talking about, Blue, right? Like that's what I was saying. Because earlier I was saying I expected Shakur to go. He has some big fights he can make at 140, and that if 135 would have closed up on him, I expect him to go 140. But anytime you hear Shakur talking, he's like, "Yeah, nah, man, I'm at 135. I'm probably gonna be here forever. I don't know, you know what I mean? At least for a really long time. But now you're talking about going up to 140. Clearly, the fights to be made at 135 is a little difficult for him. Clearly, he's having some issues there. And I've said this before that Eddie Hearn's ability to make a lot more happen at 140 for Shakur than at 135. Like he can make things happen for him at 140. But to hear him say he'd go up to 140,
yeah. And somebody else said, and shout out to Dub C, shout out to nephew Dub C, drop the bombs on Dub C. Dub C sent me this because I made the video and people were saying Shakur said yeah, and I'm like, Shakur never said that. I was wrong. I stand corrected. Shouts out Dub C and shouts out to the other people that sent me the different responses. But this one, somebody said, Shakur, you was ready to fight Ryo, but he lost. Are you willing to fight Gary Antuanne Russell? And he said, yes, I am.
Okay, but not 140.
But he wanted to fight Ryo at 140, remember? Because remember he told Ryo being a 4-time world champ, a 4-division champion sound good to me, make it happen.
He did say that.
So that's why somebody said you was gonna fight Ryo lost. You fight Gary.
Boom, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, man. I think there's gonna be some hard fights.
But before you answer, I'm gonna read the last statement.
Okay.
So this was I want to get I don't want to interrupt you. I want to get your whole. I want to pick your brain. So he said. So Gary put the interview. He didn't know. He said that he didn't know Shakur said that, right? But Gary said he's going to contact Shakur behind the scenes. He can come down to 135 because he makes 140 easy, right? So that's what Gary was saying. He could come down to 135, but Shakur already said that he'll go to 140, right? So Shakur's response was, LOL, crazy. I got respect because we used to spar every other day. For real. He don't got to take it no type of way, but I would love to line it up with him if the money makes sense. So people was like, now it seemed like you're trying to backtrack. Because he said, if the money makes sense.
I mean, he never said he would do it for free. So,
right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. Shakur has admittedly said he wants the big names. He wants the big fights. Why? Because of the money. He wants to fight the big names of the competition with the money. Why is it crazy that he would say for the right price? I mean, clearly it would have to be for the right price. I mean, a fighter like Tank says he wants to fight somebody. You don't have to even think about whether the price has to be right or not. A fighter like Canelo Alvarez says he wants to fight somebody. You don't even have to think about if he means that the price is right. You don't even think about that. Of course, the price got to be right. Now, Shakur saying that might be somebody who, is just kind of letting it be known, like, don't have nobody over there send me no low ball offer because it'll get rejected at that point. And that's not because I'm ducking you. That's because I'm a prize fighter. And I'm just in another conversation right now. I'm in another conversation when it comes to making money. I'm over here. I'm close to Turki Al-Sheikh, and I'm here making the biggest amounts of money, getting the biggest purses that I ever got. So I don't know why people would want to take that as him kind of like preemptively ducking. What are you guys saying? Like he wouldn't get good money for that? I think that'd be a lot of money that he would get for that. He got big money to pay to go ahead and fight Josh Padley. So of course he's expecting, big money to fight Gary Antuanne Russell. But I mean, I think that goes without saying. I don't think that's something that significant that he would say something like that. You know what I mean? But he's just kind of making it clear the money better be where it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? And it should be. The money should be right exactly where it's supposed to be. Why wouldn't it?
Now, I reached out to Gary because I wanted to get him on because I want to ask him this, right, Clay? I want to get your opinion on it, but I wanted to do it without me and you speculating. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. But as far as Gary, right, do you think he's more intrigued to get the Puello rematch as a unification and avenge your loss? If like my thing is, I want to ask Gary this, and I hope nobody, somebody going to steal what we get ready to say, right? Anyway,
yeah.
But I want to, if right now, Clay, if Clay said, I got Shakur Stevenson on the table, you Shakur Stevenson, you Eddie Hearn, Clay, I got Shakur Stevenson on the table right now. I got $3 million or whatever, right? And I'm PBC, and hey, I got Puello on the table, unification bout at 135. I mean at 140, and you get the Avenger loss, same amount of money. What fight you taking?
I think I'm beyond personally just kind of speculating. Obviously, I think he goes with the Puello fight for the same amount of money. He would force them to pay him more money because he wants that Puello fight. His pride is entangled inside that Puello fight. He speaks about it too often, bro. He talks about it way too much. He said it didn't matter if Puello lost that fight against Sandor Martin, he'd want to fight him next. He just wants to fight Puello. But money talks. If the money is right, if you telling me you're gonna give me 7 to 10 million to fight Shakur, I mean, he probably gonna take the Shakur fight. I would think he would take that fight, but Gary's not there on the money thing yet. Gary Antuanne Russell doesn't talk about money like that. He's not talking about the biggest paydays yet. Not to say he's doing anything for free, but he's definitely a legacy-driven fighter. When you hear him in his interviews, you hear him talking, you hear him speaking, there's a lot of legacy involved in that. Unifying, getting all the belts, fighting all the other champions. You know what I'm saying? And even fighting, when he talks about fighting a Tank or something like that, he's talking about the biggest fights, right? Naturally, that come with the payday, but I never really hear him speaking on paydays like that. Like, how Tefimo and those guys are all talking about money. He seems to be in that legacy part of his journey right now. And Shakur Stevenson is definitely legacy. So if he were to take that fight over the Puello fight, it'd probably be more legacy driven, money driven. But I would say the Puello fight.
The thing about the Russell brothers in general, they don't operate like that, right? I never even heard Gary like, you got to pay me the money. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just don't. It's like Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko never talks about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like you said, Clay, they're prize fighters, right? And it's not for free. But there's some fighters I never heard Lomachenko talk about money.
Right.
Never. You know what I'm saying? I never heard Gary talk about money. I never heard Gary, even with Tank, like he's never said, pay me the right money and I'll fight Tank. He always just say, I'll fight Tank.
Yep.
Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never heard it really from Terrence Crawford either.
Nah. Not until now, a little bit.
Yeah. Some fighters just don't operate like that, right? Deontay Wilder was never like that.
I never heard him talk like that, but he got some big purses. And he never fought like
Yeah.
the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? He fought. He made sure he got
because he's in the heavyweight division.
right. So he never had to talk about it.
He never had to talk about it because the division is so small, and he was the most popular name in the division. It just was automatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even when it came to him and Joshua, he was like, I don't got no problem being a B-side. I just want the belts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Give him the money. Give him what he's looking for. Just make the fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Remember, he took the deal with Joshua, the small person, whatever, and he was like, just as long as only thing he wanted was the rematch clause, and they wouldn't give it to him. Remember?
Right.
So he was willing. He was like, I'll take the guaranteed purse with no back end pay-per-view money, none of that. Just as long as you give me a rematch clause. Yeah. In reverse. You know what I'm saying? I beat him. Now I get the rematch clause, and they didn't want to give it to him. Salute my brother, Charles Edward Cheese. Brother in the on this in the super chat. He says, salute, all salute to you, King. Where you been at, Cheese? Where you been at? See, cool, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco. He said, Clay, that was a bad comparison. Tank is a duck. Iverson challenged all the great players. He didn't duck them. But again, see, cool, to Clay's defense, and obviously Clay's a grown man, can defend himself, but to Clay's defense, right? Iverson didn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice, though, Clay.
Yeah. I mean, who's going? Yeah, I'm not playing that team. But at the same time, I feel you. See, I see you trying to, hold him to the fire. But what did I say? See, be honest. In the beginning, before I said, I don't even want to do this because I already knew the pushback I was going to get on it. Right. But I tried my best to just kind of capture what YG Tatted might feel the way he feels. But I'm okay with it. Go ahead, hit me over the head, bro. I won't say it again.
Rich Porter, my brother. What's up, family? Christopher the Prophet, he said Lamont recently came out on an interview on Cam and Mace that Tank's power is basically not as special as people claim it to be. What's your thoughts on that? I think that I was going to say he's capping. I don't want to say he's capping, right, Christopher? Some people's chin is more sturdy than others, right? To give you an example, Christopher the Prophet, we all knew Mike Tyson hit hard. You know what I'm saying? But Holyfield's like, it wasn't no George Foreman hit harder. I just seen, as a matter of fact, ironically, there's a clip that was just sent to me of Holyfield saying who his top 3 hardest dudes that hit him when he fought.
I saw it.
And Mike Tyson wasn't in the 3.
Nope.
So, you know what I'm saying? Again, we know Mike Tyson put them paws on you. JJ Short Deuce, what's up? D-Boy Dad, what's up, family? You know what I'm saying? So, again, he just might have a super duper sturdy chin.
Plus, it's about that leverage too, right? Like, if he's able to get in front of that and mess with Tank's leverage by staying inside and, making Tank have to find power from certain angles where his shot, is not ripping from as well as it would normally. He's probably not punching as hard for real at that point. He's probably figuring a way how to neutralize that, smother a lot of that power. You know what I mean? He was doing a lot of different things in that fight that were very interesting, and they were affecting Tank in a different way. Tank was getting frustrated in that fight, in my opinion. You saw him getting frustrated. And I think it had a lot to do with just, his refusal to get in position, to Lamont to play his position and get in position to be hit with these shots, which is why Tank probably waits so long, taking so many rounds to process the quote unquote data in order to let his shots off, because he's trying to position you where he needs to position you to hit you as hard as he can hit you, and he wasn't able to do that with Lamont. So Lamont probably never got an opportunity. Lamont unknowingly maybe has never put himself in a position or gave Tank the opportunity to punch him as hard as Tank can punch him. In comparison, like somebody like you saw how he did Frank Martin, you know what I mean? Like completely put him in the right position to punch on him, like lined him up exactly where he needed him to let that left hand go and hit him with his hardest punch and put him out.
Right. He it's ironic, right, Clay? Because he did what Holyfield did, right? He smothered his punches.
Right. Yeah. Smothered the power. Took it away from him.
Well, Holyfield smothered all of Mike Tyson's punches. He frustrated him, right? That's why he bit him. And look, Tank tried to bite Lamont Roach.
Like.
You know what I'm saying? He cluttered his space. He crowded his space. He didn't let him get leverage. He constantly headbutted him, just was physical with him on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Borderline dirty thing tactics. That's what Horace 575 Stunner Breezy. What's up? Antonio MMA. What's up?
Cheese, I never heard Cheese talk that boldly about Tank.
He said, "Look, man, I'm gonna keep it a bean on Tank. He's a crybaby and don't like getting touched." Again, man.
Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw the same thing. He doesn't like getting touched, and he was very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable in that fight, man. In a way that I didn't really see. I've never seen that in Tank before. I always pictured Tank as a dog, but when you look back, and he's, in his sparring sessions, they talk about him being one of the hardest punchers, but they also talk a lot of stories about him like really having like big time conniption fits, you know what I'm saying? Throwing real fits over getting punched on, or you know what I mean? Like Floyd Schofield talked about it. I know they don't have too much credibility that he spoke about it. You saw it happen with the Devin tape, him trying to turn his back and kind of do the same thing and try to like stop the match, and Floyd had to be like, keep punching on him, it ain't over with. You know what I mean? Like, he is showing that consistency. And even Biz had to comment on it, seeing that old amateur fight he had and the kind of the way he dealt with that, and seeing the way he dealt with Lamont Roach. It's consistent. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't like to get touched, man. He doesn't like to get touched, and he doesn't like it when what he's trying to do isn't working. He gets frustrated. Very entitled, man. Very entitled. Some people might want to call spoiled. Maybe you might want to call a little bit of spoiled. Very entitled, spoiled type of perspective on the game in general, inside the ring and outside the ring, and gets very insulted and frustrated with anybody who questions his approach to whatever is being done. And it's consistent. You see it outside the ring a lot, but inside the ring, you got to see it with Lamont Roach.
Well, and we seen it though, right, Clay? When he fought against Ryan Garcia, right? He was in retreat mode. Go 9-5. What's up? He don't like to be uncomfortable. He likes space. He likes a clean fight. And remember I said this, and I always said this, right, Clay? Tank is not a brawler.
Yeah.
Right? He is a strategic boxer puncher that happens to have equalizing punching power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
He's a strategic boxing puncher. He just have one punch equalizing knockout power. And people confuse his knockouts with being this brawler. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not who he is. That's not what he does. It's not how he operates. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying. And we've been attributing all these things that we've seen from him being, such a cerebral fighter, but never did I entertain him being that by the nature of fear, dare I say, or like Cheese said, discomfort and getting hit. Like, he doesn't. People think like he's willing to get hit to hit. He's not really into it like that. He's not. He gets frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen it. You've seen it. And shout out to Two Rich Mister. I respect the belt, saying Tank will quit on the stool in the 10th round when he loses. I keep saying it. Lomachenko used to make a lot of fighters quit. I remember there was a point in time, it was like 3 or 4 fights straight he had where people just didn't come out the corner. They weren't beat up with like swollen eyes or, bleeding out of all the orifices in their face. No, they were just frustrated, just straight up frustrated, and didn't believe there was any more reason to fight the fight because everything they were trying to do wasn't working. Something to look at with Tank. That's all I'm going to say, right? Yeah. Something to look at. Like, as we see him in his next couple of bouts, I want to see this. I want to see the questions get answered and the boxes get checked in this area because it's clearly there. Lamont highlighted that, and I expect a lot of other fighters to follow to follow the same protocol, and I'm expecting Lamont to do it the same way. at this point, are you expecting Lamont to win this next fight, or you still got Tank winning this fight against Lamont Roach?
I still got Tank winning. I just think that Tank has just more room to grow. You know what I'm saying? I can see
what, like get more aggressive. Let his
yeah,
hands go more?
I just seen him being better at. I think he can be a better jabber, right?
Right.
I think that he can, I just saw a lot of things that Tank left on the table,
Right.
and maybe it was due to not being confident enough to do certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just seen like he could have used the jab more. He could have been more consistent going to the body. You know what I'm saying? Where he could where those rounds where he just wasn't active, he could have stole those rounds. You know what I'm saying? And he just didn't. You know what I mean? So I just think that he has the room. I and reason being is I think that Tank left a lot on the table, but I think that Lamont Roach fought the best fight of his career, the most disciplined fight of his career.
Yes, I agree that I've seen.
Right.
But can he? But can Lamont be better? Can Lamont be better? Listen, going into that fight, I said, listen, Lamont's going to have to be special.
Right. And he was.
And he was special.
He was special.
Now I'm at a place where I feel uncomfortable putting any limits on him. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel uncomfortable saying, like that's the best version. Like he's not going to be able to do better. Can he not be better? Can he not? Because the same way Tank fought him, he fought Tank. He has 12 rounds of Tank now of data. You know what I'm saying? To understand, he knows things that maybe he wasn't too aware of going in there. Like, let me see how I'm going to take his punches. Let me see if I can, neutralize a lot of things. Man, it was a lot easier. You know what I mean? He turned up in the last 3-4 rounds of that fight. He took the last 3-4 rounds of that fight. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He took his time like Tank did in the beginning, those first, 3 to 4 or 5 rounds to kind of like process data himself. I don't know.
But
I don't know.
The thing is, like, right? I look at it from this standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. I think that now, I think that he was playing with house money, Lamont Roach, right?
Right.
There was no pressure. Like he was playing with house money, right? He was supposed to lose. Now, after that performance, right? Now I think that the expectations, the pressure, how he's perceived, all of those things is going to be completely different. Now we're going to be looking at Lamont Roach to duplicate or do better than what he did. He's not playing with house money. Now there's a different level of pressure because now people are going to be like, all right, well, I need to see you duplicate that. Now he's a household name. Stephen A. Smith knows who he is. Right. Fox Sports talking about him being robbed. ABC, CBS News in New York talking about the fight. Now everybody's aware of who he is. Now there's a different level of pressure going into the fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now people thought that you won. You know what I'm saying? Now the expectations is completely different than what it was going into the first fight.
What do you see going into this next fight that will be different for Tank, right? Like why did he damn near lose that fight? What was it that made it that he damn near lost the fight?
The only thing I
Uh-oh. Are we all frozen? Okay, you're good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I froze. So the only thing I think different, the Go 9-5, Kawhi Elliott, what's up? Lamont Roach can do is just start off quicker. I think he could be more aggressive and start quicker than he did the first fight, right? Because I think physically that's it. That's his peak, right? He's not gonna get faster, stronger. You know what I'm saying? He could be more aggressive. He could be more decisive. He can be.
No. What can Tank do?
Oh, I think Tank could be more active with his jab. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Lamont Roach is still going to be patient,
right?
Because of Tank's power, right? Regardless of him saying it's not special or whatever, he's still going to be cautious of that power, right? So if he fights at that pace, Tank could steal those rounds just with a jab. when Tank was throwing the hooks to the body, right? And getting about a dodge. You know what I mean? He started staying in the pocket. I rewatched the fight last night, right? He started staying in the pocket in the second half of the fight because he was. I feel like Tank started to feel the pressure that he was supposed to knock him out, not outbox him, right? And I feel like, remember, the team in the corner was like, "You're gonna need these rounds." You know what I'm saying? Like he started to feel like he was losing. You know what I mean? So he had to make a big a statement. And but if he would have jabbed to the body, throw the hooks and get up out of there, because when he was in the beginning, he's jabbing the body and getting up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the hooks and getting up out of there. Lamont wasn't throwing back. He was just trying to walk him down still. You know what I mean? Even with Lamont's jab, he still wasn't in range. He was just being active. The thing is, Lamont Roach wasn't showing any fear. He was always in a threatening posture. And that's the thing that bothered Tank, right? Like he continued to be, he was always there. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't taking 5,000 steps back. He wasn't resetting. No, he was consistent. He was there. He understood the assignment. He understood the game plan. He was cool, calm, and collected, right? And if Tank made a mistake, he was going to make him pay. And that made Tank, that rendered him inactive. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I think that if Tank trusts his athletic ability, trusts that he's faster, you know what I'm saying? Jab him to the body, be more active, I think that Tank could win the fight. You know what I'm saying? He could make Lamont press the fight in the second half, opposed to him having to press the fight in the second half.
Which now, would involve him winning rounds.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, right, Clay, I want to ask you this. Because I thought about this, and I said this on the live, I think, yesterday or the day before. I thought about it. Tank has the lowest output of anybody in boxing.
It's crazy. He's going to have to turn it up.
But now, Clay, I'm wondering, is it because he's afraid to gas out in the second half?
I don't think, I would hope that's not what it is, because he looks like he's in great shape and conditioning wise. I think it's more so what Charles Edward Cheese said a little bit earlier. I think he don't like getting hit, and I think punching involves getting punched, and I think Tank gets hit when he's punching. That's when he gets hit. It's interesting, you know what I'm saying? When Cheese said that, it kind of shone some light on it for me personally to say that, yo, this dude may literally be trying to stand out in the rain and not get wet. Whereas back in the day, I used to feel like Tank wasn't scared to get hit. Like he's willing to get hit in order to get a shot off. But seeing him being as reserved as he was and how ineffective when it was time for him to turn it up and get that win with Lamont, he just kind of like didn't have that next gear that he was willing to hit. I don't think it's conditioning, Blue. I think
I don't think it's his conditioning, right? But I think it might be, you know how some fighters just fade. Big Herm, what's up? Too Rich, what's up? Like Caleb Plant. Like I watched Caleb Plant train,
right?
But he just fades in the second half.
So you think he's got a certain amount of energy in the tank for that style of fighting he does, and he's trying to reserve it for the right moment to let it go. He can't he can't keep the way he fights. He can't keep doing that for 12 rounds.
Right. Like I think he questions if his power is going to be there in the 12th if he exerts too much energy.
Yo, listen, man, it's possible, man. Like it's. There's no question about it, Blue, that Tank has always seemed to always reserve himself. The question is, why was he doing it? That's all it's always been, right? Like, we know he does this. We know he takes off those first 3 to 5 rounds and then he turns up. But you're asking the question of why? Why do we think he's doing this?
Right.
Is there a reason for it outside of just like setting somebody up? Is he actually consciously aware of his limitations and working inside his own limitations?
Right. Because now here's the thing, right, Clay? He always turns it up in the second half, right?
Yeah.
And initially, I always said, well, he's just computing the information he needs. But now, as I watch the fight, he's hesitant. He's not He's not computing the information. He's
Right.
he's truly fighting in spurts, and he's being hesitant. Like he's very, very conscious of his work rate.
Right. Even when he talked in the corner.
Right.
With the whole what round it is and knowing what the rounds was and knowing when to
Right.
turn up, that clearly means he was waiting for something. He's waiting for some sort of signal or something or some understanding, some check, some box to get checked. To be like, all right, go now.
Right.
And he wasn't able to do it.
Right.
Is Tank built to win? Is Tank built to win a boxing match when it comes like scoring and a judge? Is he doing that?
I don't think so. I used to, before this fight, and I'm gonna be honest with the people. I know people gonna say, "Oh, he switched up." Before this fight, I thought he was.
Right.
After I watched this fight and I rewatched it last night, and I rewatched the Barrios fight and these other fights, I'm like, "Oh, I was wrong." And the reason I was wrong, because at least I feel like I was wrong, is because of the Cuellar fight, right? When he was with Coach Cunningham.
Right.
Right. It's a different level of discipline. Again, I don't like to step on nobody's toes, disrespect anybody. I think that if he went with Coach Cunningham is a no-nonsense, militant, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna you're gonna be in shape. You rock with Coach Cunningham, you're gonna be in shape.
Right.
You ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in shape. You're gonna be prepared. One thing you watch Coach Cunningham fighters, they ain't never not in shape. They never not prepared. They might not listen, like Lubin didn't listen against Fundora.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Corey Spinks in that second fight with Zab Judah,
right.
But they prepared. He was look at Adrian Broner. Look at Tank when they with Coach Cunningham. He fought a completely higher level against Cuellar than he did in any other fight.
Right.
And it's like because he trusted his conditioning. You know what I'm saying? His work rate against Cuellar was a lot different than any other fight.
Mm-hmm.
Every other fight is more lethargic. Right? And that's a comfort zone. Remember Errol Spence said this, Clay? Errol Spence said, I don't like to train with Blu-ray. Then he said, let me stop myself. I do like to train with Blu-ray, which was his strength and conditioning coach.
Right.
But when I train with Blu-ray, I can't train at my own pace.
Right.
I got to train at his pace.
Right.
When I'm training by myself or with other people, I can train at my own pace.
Right.
And that's the thing. Right? Jafar Caesar, I agree. Lucian, what's up? I think that when you with a Coach Cunningham, he ain't a fan of yours. Right. And again, no disrespect to everybody else. They more in awe. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I just go along with what Tank said. You know what I'm saying? Coach Cunningham is more, hey, bro, this is how we gonna do this. This is how we doing this. Not your way. We're gonna do it this way. Right? Because you came to me. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like Errol said, I fight at my own, and I think that Tank is when he's with them, he can pace himself. He can fight at his own pace, which is, and we all will be that way, right? There's a handful of people in the world, athletes that would play or do anything at the highest pace consistently, like Russell Westbrook.
Right.
This dude play 100 miles an hour
the whole game.
The whole game, right?
Right.
Everybody, we would all like to play at our own place, at our own pace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't play like Michael Jordan all game long.
Word.
And Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't like to play against people like that, because they make you play at their pace. Or you're going to get ran up out of whatever sport you in. Jerry Rice, this dude going to run every route, every game, as if he
got the ball, as if he's getting
the ball. You know what I'm saying? And
no doubt, no doubt, and Sanders for sure.
Right. So I'm wondering, That slow pace, lethargic pace.
Mhm.
Again, remember this. And blessings to the queen, Little Minnie. Blessings to you, queen. She said, "Good evening, Mr. Blue. I admire your channel about boxing. Oh, much love and much blessing to you. I appreciate it. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Much love. Much love. I appreciate it. Shouts out to Little Minnie. Peace and blessings to you.
I don't see her on here.
I got it on the camera.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Salute, Little Minnie.
So, again, right, Clay? Oh, Clay, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Pin your channel. You put your channel.
Word. Yeah. So, but you thinking, man? Listen, man, it's difficult. See, this is why the next fight is so important. I don't want to jump. I like I said, something to keep my eye on, but I don't want to let one fight set me off and have me feeling like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
oh, this dude's not who I
why,
thought he
that's
was.
why I went back, Clay, and I rewatched these fights, and I'm like, hold on. I'm thinking that he's pacing himself now,
Right.
and he like, if you're around here in the second half, I'm still going to be explosive and powerful. You're going to be in trouble. It's strategic,
Right.
Like he's like you said, he's really paying attention to the rounds, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And he's not doing it out of like, he's doing it out of necessity, out of like strategy. Like, this is important.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. To the point to where, Blue, I ain't gonna lie to you, I started to entertain a lot of stuff in my mind. Like, are they counting rounds? Is this some kind of like gambling thing going on? Like, are they purposely trying to? I started to feel like the streets was kind of getting involved with this on a not so honorable way. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he supposed to be pushing it to this point? Is this something like? Why does he keep on? Why does he keep on saying that? Why would he care if it's round 8 or round 6 or 7? Why would he only need to win? Why would he only need the next 2 out of 3 rounds? I remember when Calvin said that, I'm like, all right, we need the next 2 out of these next 3 rounds. Why? Why not take all the rounds? Why not win this damn fight? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? I don't understand what's going on. But now you're kind of putting some perspective as to the whole entire. I think I seen ETB. I think I seen Keon in here kind of talk about, you know, that he fights in spurts. But with the reasoning behind the spurts, why?
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of shedding some light as to why it may be that it might be deeper than rap. It's not just about, you know, what you feel like doing. It might be what you have to do.
Exactly, because remember this. Now, something else. I'm gonna drop another gem on you. Salute
For
to
sure.
ETB. Salute, family. Salute.
Shout out to my dude Keon, man.
Do me a favor, people, before we continue. We at the midway point. I need you guys to click the link. Subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain channel. The link to his channel is right there, pinned up in the chat. Click the link. Subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain channel. The link to his channel is pinned up in the chat. Clay, drop the schedule on them so they know when they can catch you.
11 a.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
That's Eastern Standard Time, people. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So click the link, subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain, man. Please do me that favor. If you support me, support my brother.
Thank you, guys.
Let me drop this other gem on you, right, Clay?
Right.
These sparring sessions I seen Tank in. Second half of the sparring sessions.
Yeah.
He's fading.
Right.
Devin Haney sparring session.
Yes.
Second half. They tried to tell us, well, because he got off the airplane. He wasn't
in conditioning, in shape. Yup. Yeah, man. Listen, one thing about Tank, and you found it, right? Like, you jumped on it and you found it. But people have been talking about this in different ways, not the same way, right? But what people are basically saying is there's patterns to this. There's consistency behind what he's doing. Now, you could take it as a good thing, a bad thing, as a, you know, however you want to look at it. But Tank is very consistent with what he's been doing for years. You go back to his, you know, you're going back to fights, you're going back to certain scenarios, and you're like, look at this consistent pattern of his that he's doing. And Lamont even spoke about the consistencies of his patterns and how you guys just ain't seen it. Maybe I'll talk about it after the fight, but he's very consistent. He's very predictable. It's just a matter of being able to weather the right storm, to weather those spurts, to weather those storms. Are you going to be able to do that in order to get to those opportunities and then capitalize on them opportunities? Don't let those spurts discourage you from doing what you need to do when you get the opportunity, because that also becomes part of it. Now, the facade of the danger, you know, with Frank Martin, the facade of the danger took him over, and he got on his bicycle. Before he knew it, he was on his bicycle the whole time. Meanwhile, there were opportunities in there that involved him staying his ground, staying there and keeping himself in position to be able to capitalize on it. And he wasn't taking advantage of those because he got too caught up in those spurts, in those moments when Tank would just let off those overhand rights that were crazy looking. You know what I mean? Just dump on him. He's like, Jesus Christ, I need to get out of here, not realizing like, yeah, but how long can he keep that up? And don't you have a plan on what you can do once you get your opening? I remember Greg Hackett said to him that the key to Frank Martin winning this fight is going to be to box him when he want to box him and fight him when he want to fight him. He never fought him. You know what I'm saying? He stayed on boxing the whole time. Frank never fought. He never actually took advantage of that, except for like early in the match. He had his moments when he took advantage of it. And you saw Tank had the bruises on his face to prove it, right? That Frank Martin was connecting with certain shots. So yeah, it's interesting, man. This is very interesting. It's very interesting. And I think Lamont is onto this. I think his father is onto this. And it's something about having that strategy going into the ring, having that trainer who's going to have that strategy, who's reading this, you know, as transparently as he can, to be like, look, we can get this dude. Can you weather this? Because if you can weather this, then there's this other opportunity in there that I want to know, can he weather your ish this time?
And Clay, think about it. This is what I've always been saying from the beginning when I said certain fighters can beat him. The reason I say that is because they're going to weather the storm, not make mistakes, and be disciplined through 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Shakur's going to, I don't care if the crowd boo, he's going to be defensive minded. He's not going to make a bunch of mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Right?
And I said the same thing about Devin. Now, what did I say, Clay? The best thing that happened to Devin was that Ryan Garcia fight, because
100%.
He was impatient. And now I think that taught him to be patient. Lesson learned. At least we're going to find out.
Right.
Because if he did that with Tank, he would have got knocked out. Right? But Devin now is going to be like, all right, I'm going to stick to the jab. I'm going to stay on this stick. I'm going to use my lane. I'm going to control the distance, make it a boring fight, and get the dub.
Yeah.
And Tank don't close distance well. Now, I seen the great brother Charles Edward Cheese. He said, if Loma is healthy, Loma would beat
the mess around and beat him. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I disagree. And let me tell you why, Cheese. Loma's uncomfortable with pressure. Loma's uncomfortable fighting off the back foot. He'll make you miss, but he won't make you pay. He'll just make you miss. He won't be active. Remember, against T.O. and against Devin, right, Clay? Through 7 rounds, he never threw more than double-digit punches until after 7 rounds in both those fights, right, with T.O. and with Devin. Why? Because they was backing him up. In the 7th round, they both slowed down, right? But Tank, the pace that Tank fight with that high guard, walking Loma down, he's not going to exude a lot of energy. So in the second half of the fight, T.O. and Devin was using a lot of energy, right? Making sure they pressure him, then use the back foot, boxing him. It take a lot of energy. It take more energy. So Tank's style in the second half, he gonna be quite all right fighting at that pace with a high guard, right? And his is the tightness of it, and Loma giving him openings. And Loma's not as big as Lamont Roach, and he don't have the same threatening posture. He pity pats, right? Until he gets an opening, right? He'll touch your glove, do all these things till he try to find an opening and pop you, bang, right? Or here, go around your glove, bang, right? Pull your glove down and bang, you know what I mean? Tank is physically too strong for him to do that, right? He ain't gonna pull Tank glove down without paying. So I think that in the second half of the fight, where Loma's typically used to turning it up, and he opens up more,
Right.
Tank is gonna have a field day. So I just think that styles make fights. So I think that in the second half, especially this version of Loma, I think he's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, you have to give Tank. I think as the fight goes on with Lomachenko, Tank gets more confident because he starts to realize he's seen the best version of him. I think one of the things about the Lamont Roach fight that made a difference was that he was effectively hitting Tank. He was hitting with Tank with punches that were getting Tank's attention. Was Tank scared of getting knocked out? One might say clearly, because he took a knee rather than even risk getting hit with a shot he didn't see coming from Lamont Roach. You know what I mean? He ain't take no knee with Pitbull. You know what I mean? When Pitbull was letting off them shots and his hand was hurt, you know what I mean? He didn't give up there. He knew, like, I could deal with this. Pitbull's predictable, but Lamont just wasn't predictable. He was just, unpredictable. You know what I mean? Reading your shots, reading everything you're doing, and hitting you with clean shots.
He was, Clay, I watched the fight, and I'm like, bro, Lamont wrote, that's what I said, right, Clay? When I rewatched it last night, I seen a guy, I don't know if he could duplicate that, right? You ever play a sport, right? You ever play a sport and you just get in this specific zone?
Yeah.
Definitely. And it's like you playing basketball, it's like you're so loose, you're so comfortable, you can't miss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you playing football, it's like, bro, I see everything. I'm playing defense and everybody get the ball. It's like in slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see everything. I can react to everything, right? And in the next game, you're trying to find that and you can't find it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just hit this zone, and I think that he was in a zone. I don't know if he's gonna be in that zone in the rematch. He was so, Clay, just watch how patient he was.
Yeah, he was dialed in.
Bro, yeah. He's seen everything. Like, when he landed,
is that a once in a lifetime type of experience, or is that just how you fight when you fight against somebody who you respect, who you know can knock you out, just being alert?
The thing about it, right, Clay, is that I rewatched his other fights and I didn't see it.
But he wasn't scared.
He wasn't scared, but I didn't see
other fights.
I didn't see that performance though. You know what I'm saying?
Fighters take chances, man. Like Boots said, the fights that you get up for. There's fights you get up for. Tefimo does it all the time, right? Like, you see him fight somebody who he doesn't feel like is on his level, and he's getting hit more than he ever getting hit. He can't cut the ring all of a sudden, but he gets in there with a Lomachenko, he gets in there with a Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? He has these performances. You know what I mean? I think that might be the case with Lamont. I think Lamont learned something about himself. Like, I need to be in the biggest fights possible because that's where I step up. A lot of fighters figuring that out. Even Boots went against Karen, was like, yo, bro, I think he's like, he was shocked at himself. Like, damn, bro, I was, I was getting hit more than I thought I should get hit. But, he was like, I don't know, man. I think it's just I need to fight against the right fighters. You get to that point in your career where everything becomes boring and, there's a lull to everything. And before you know it, you're playing down to your competition. Is Lamont Roach just one of those fighters that's just going to step up at the biggest fights possible? You know what I mean? He only lost against Jamel Herring. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this kid's been pretty consistent as far as, being aware and on a cerebral level, being able to compete with whoever's in the ring with him. And he did it at the highest level against Tank Davis. I don't know, man. I think Lamont's going to be, I have a feeling Lamont's going to be even better in his next fight against Tank. That's what I believe. Now, is that going to be enough to beat Tank? Yes, I think he's going to level up. I think he just knows more. He's just one of those fighters that gives me the energy of worst in the second fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the rematch with him is just going to be worse because he's going to process, he's going to compute. He's in the unknown when he's fighting the first time. The second time around, I done had 12 rounds with you, bro. You're not the only one who's going to change. I'm going to change as well. I'm definitely going to change as well. I'm definitely making adjustments. There's definitely things I could have done better. I did get hit with some shots at certain points in time. Those rounds that I lost, I know why I lost them. He made the adjustments and won the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, right? Like, he made the adjustment and got even better as the fight went on. I think he's on that level. I think he's a cerebral fighter, bro. Does he beat Tank? I don't know, man. I'm not going to say that because Tank is just, I'm just not going to say that. You know what I mean? But I promise you, I'm not going to be shocked if he loses. I won't. I'm like, damn, bro. It just turns out Lamont is who he thought he was. Or not who he thought he was, who he said he was. You know what I mean? Because we might not still think he's still him like that. But he knows, and he said, I'm telling you guys, I'm him. He's been saying that. I don't know, man. I want to see the fight.
Man, you got me hyped, Clay. You got me hyped, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, announce the damn rematch, please.
He's been telling us we not listening to him. You know what I'm saying? Even right now, it's hard to believe that he can duplicate it, right? Because it's just like, bro. But he's sitting here smiling like, I don't know what's hard to believe, bro. He's been sitting there saying it to us like, yo, bro, I'm telling you. At some point, and look, he wasn't nervous. It wasn't luck. What happened with him and Tank in that fight wasn't luck. You know what I'm trying to say? You saw it wasn't luck. It was Lamont. Now, could he have had the best night? Possibly, but he wasn't just swinging for the bleachers and catching with something, and then all of a sudden he was stumbling, and Tank was never same the whole entire fight because of this one shot. Nah, man, he was consistently
and Clay, in the 6th round when he caught the punch and then caught him with the right hand, bang! And Tank stumbled back.
Yeah. I said, man. Good and it was a solid tight shot. It wasn't a Hail Mary.
But he didn't even blink. He just bang.
Caught like it. Did what we said he does. We told you that's what he does, catch and shoot and all these shots.
He just didn't know it translate. And I said that's a bad idea, and I was wrong.
Me too.
I could have been.
I thought that was going to be the reason he was going to get slept, bro.
Me too.
I thought that was going to be the legitimate reasoning.
He proved us wrong.
But Tank, Calvin talks about Tank going into his tool bag. He's gonna have to go in his tool bag for this fight, and we either gonna see the best Tank. That's the name of the game, though, and that's the bigger question. Like we talking about, we've seen the best Lamont we've ever seen. Is it gonna take the best Tank we've ever seen to beat Lamont Rhodes? I just
watched somebody and they just said Tank pulled out all the stops. Who I just watched to say that? Was it Antonio Tarver?
I don't know. That's the question, though, Blue. I'm telling you, did Tank give us the best version of him? Did we see the best version that Tank could offer? Because that's why I asked you earlier, do you think Tank could be better? And I said, how? Because he has to win rounds. He has to win rounds, and he has to throw a lot more punches. Is Tank that kind of fighter?
Right.
Is Tank that kind of fighter? He has to win rounds, and he has to punch more. When have we seen Tank do that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he can't play for the knockout, Blue. It's just not guaranteed. Welcome to the real world boxing. Lamont is not there to be knocked out, bro. He's defensively sound. He's not there to be knocked out. Is he there to be outboxed and beat on points on the board? Yes. Are you built to do that though? Because if he's not there for the knockout, how are you gonna beat him? One round at a time. Ain't no what round is this, bro? Are you ahead or are you not ahead? And if you're not ahead, you need to get ahead. How you gonna do it? And no, damn setting him up for the knockout. Damn setting him up for the knockout. Ain't no setting him up for the knockout. If the knockout comes, it comes. But how are you gonna win this fight outside of a knockout?
That's deep, but that's facts. Salute to Jerron Purtle, brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco super chat. He said that's exactly why he needs to fight top competition to answer these questions. I agree. Bernard Thomas, brother in the super chat. He said he did drop Ryan early. Yeah, he dropped Ryan early because Ryan was super, super aggressive.
Yeah, Ryan came. Yeah, exactly. Ran into his own demise.
Yeah, Ryan was super aggressive and was super irresponsible. He threw the same punch 3 different times and missed all 3 in the same exchange. Like, bro, that was just nasty work. Kendall Styles, my brother in the super chat, dropping that dub on the super chat. I think it was like Roy Jones Jr. and Tarver situation. Tarver and Roy Jones fought a lot in the amateurs, and in the pros, he knew him well. I think Roach was very familiar with Tank and made him hesitant. I could be wrong. I agree with you. No, I think it is. I think that plays a major part, Kendall Styles. That 1,000% plays a major part in it, right? And Dennis Ashby, let me rent you up, bro. I like you. 1000%, Kendall. 1000%. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Salute to Kendall Styles back in the super chat, dropping a Cinco on us in the super chat. He said, I think Tank is disciplined, but doesn't like being held accountable and being told he's doing something wrong. That's why he lashes out. 1000%.
100%. He showed his discipline when he was over there on the money team. When he was doing the money team, he was super disciplined.
Right.
I mean, he messed up like making weight a few times, but just
because you know why, right, Clay? He respect the pecking order. It's
right.
Floyd. It's Floyd.
Right. Exactly. When Floyd would talk to him, and he'd be annoyed with Floyd. He spoke about that, but he would never cross that line. He respected him and would listen. So he's shown discipline. I think he's disciplined, but I definitely think that I do think some of it. I think Tank has gotten very comfortable with talking to Calvin. I'll say it like that. You know what I'm saying? He's gotten very comfortable, and he doesn't have a problem speaking his mind with him. And I think maybe that's what Barry Hunter was supposed to bring to the table a little bit, was just a little bit of, but at the same time, I seen him kind of talking to Barry a little crazy in the corner too.
And Barry got frustrated. Remember, Barry was like, all right, man. And he was like, no, go ahead. Desiree.
Does Tank need to be Canelo? Does the best version of Tank the version that takes instructions and takes criticism? You know what I'm trying to say?
Say it again.
Is the best version of Tank the Tank that takes instructions and takes criticism? Is that the best version of Tank? And is that version of him gone? Is that in the past? Is Tank no longer available?
No, I think that version is still there, and I do think that that's the best version of him. But I think he avoids that version because it requires him to fight and be outside of his comfort zone. That's why I said if he's with Coach Cunningham, you're going to get the best absolute. And again, no disrespect to Calvin, Kenny, and Barry.
Right.
And Bugs. But it's clear to me that even Coach Hunter is more of allowing Tank to be Tank.
Right.
Right? Like he ain't gonna push him to the brink, right? Not saying he's not gonna hold him accountable, but he's not gonna push him to the absolute brink, right? It's like he ain't gonna fight with him. When I seen that exchange in the corner, it was like it was like, all right, man. You know what I'm saying? You do what you do.
There was a moment when Tank said no, go ahead, man. Speak. No, go ahead. Like what Barry was pulling back, like, listen, champ, I already know, like.
Right, exactly. I mean, and that's my thing. Barry was like, you know what? Do you? And he was like, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right? Exactly.
And Barry, like, he just giggled, like, bro, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna do this with you right now, bro.
Barry is a more passive, like, okay, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? Coach Cunningham is gonna be like, you wasting my time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You either gonna do what I said, or we ain't doing this at all.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wasting my time. To give you another example, again, when Coach Cunningham coached them for that fight, Calvin and Kenny was there.
Right.
They didn't say a word in the corner.
Right.
There's the difference.
Right.
When Coach Hunter was in the ring with him, they was chiming in. It's a different level of
you right, bro. You're right, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
And I think that, like, Calvin's always supported Tank in such a way, but there's times where he just kind of sounds like a fan, just like everybody else. Like the way he celebrates him, like, you know, just how are you getting him together when he needs to be got together? How is that happening? That's the question, because that's part of the job, right? Like when he's doing good, but when he's not, how are you getting him together? How are you being cheers for him?
I had an argument with one of my sons, right? I'm the dad. I'm very open. I'm very I tell my sons I love them. I kiss my sons. Just do boxing. What's up, family? Salute. I'm very transparent with them. You know what I'm saying? Don't hide nothing. Don't lie to them. Nothing, right? But I had an argument with one of my sons, and typical, right? And I said to him, okay, cool. See, I can be cool, play around with you, joke around with you, be open, transparent. You know what I'm saying? But I'm your dad.
Right.
I'm your father. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at the situation with Kenny and Calvin, they more of a fan of Tank than being the authority.
Right.
It's cool. Okay, you don't want to talk to me? Don't talk to me.
Right.
That's what I told my son. If my son was here, he'll tell you. Oh, you don't want to respect me as your father? Cool. I won't be your father.
Right.
You understand? Like, bro, nah, that's not how this works. It don't work like that. You understand? You don't want to talk to me? Cool. But guess what? I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna be this authoritative figure,
Right.
whether you like it or not. And
Right.
they don't do that because they are afraid that Tank will cut them off. Tank won't rock with them. Tank won't.
Right.
Bro, you ain't there. That's not what you there for. And
Right.
the thing is, right? Um. This is when I noticed what Tank wants from Calvin. He wants him just to be his father figure.
Right. But
Remember,
doesn't even know what that looks like.
yeah. Remember, he said, He liked the fact that he can make Calvin proud, a man proud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he likes that. That's why he said he my father figure. He wants Calvin to play the father role. Joe Townsend, what's up, family? You understand what I'm saying? He wants Calvin to play the father role, not the trainer role. Because as a trainer, you acting like a fan. You know what I'm saying? He wants the authoritative father figure.
He wants the structure. He wants the structure
Exactly.
of the hierarchy, the
That's
under.
it.
He wants you
Exactly.
to
That's
remain
what he's
there.
seeking out.
Right.
That's what he's seeking out. But he sees, like we see, right? OG Nova, what's up? They act like fans. Like Kenny said in the interview, right? Oh, I was the cut man, but I ain't gonna step on nobody's toes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What you mean?
Right.
Clay, that's me and you. I'd be like, yo, Clay, let him train over there. Do what you do.
Right.
I ain't got no problem. Go over there. I ain't coming over there. I'm not coming. I'm not doing none of that. Cool.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, that's the thing. That's the thing they don't do. They like, man, whatever Tank want to do. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I
Mike
agree.
Tank is a 30-year-old man, but you got to understand he didn't have that structure. You take your childhood traumas and experiences into your adulthood, whether you like it or not. And so, yes, he is 30-year-old man, but that don't mean there's plenty of 30-year-old men that seek out their dad. You know what I'm saying? That want their father figure, that want that structure. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got sons that's 30 years old.
My oldest is 22.
I got sons that's 30 years old. One of my sons is 30, 32. One is 30. One is 26. One is 17 going on 18, and the other one is 14 going on 15. Right? The thing is that even my 30-year-old son will call me and he'll be in tears, or they want to go to a game, they want to do this. They still want that experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they grown, they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? One of my sons get ready to have a kid. But at the end of the day, I'm still a pillar in their life that he didn't have. You know what I'm saying? He wants to experience that. He wants to feel that. That's it. We can't blame that man for wanting to feel that experience. You know what I'm saying? Call him as your son. Give him as advice as your son. Rich Porter, only one of my sons boxed and he stopped. He playing baseball. That's my youngest son.
Man, this is it's so funny. We're talking about the father-son thing, you know what I mean? That relationship. At the end of the day, the reality is Calvin, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just gonna say that celebrating your child is important. You know what I'm saying? But the real line gets drawn in the sand towards the discipline, because the discipline gives him structure, and that's what helps him be a man. You know what I mean? The structure and the discipline is where the man jumps into it. Everything else is fun and games. You know what I'm saying? But the I'm not, that old saying, hey man, I ain't one of your little friends. This is a very important line. Like, this is a very important thing in raising children, period. Daughters, sons, anybody, just to let them know, like, no matter where this goes, no matter how we have a good time and how much we let things slide, it's from time to time, and I let you push on me and I push on you, and we do the dozens on each other. We mess around, you know what I'm saying? Because you my kids and I love you, but don't never get me twisted. I'm very different than any of your little friends. I'm not like them.
Right.
I'm somebody else, and you need to sometimes you gotta be an enemy with your kid for a little while before you can be a friend with them again, just to let them know, like, this isn't, our relationship isn't based on our ability to like each other. Our relationship is based on your ability and understanding that you will respect me at all times. See, if we don't have that, then our relationship doesn't exist, because I'm not trying to hang out with you at the club. I'm not trying to hang out and holler at none of your homegirls. I'm not one of them. I'm here for a reason. There's purpose. There's purpose in the structure of our relationship, and that has to be made clear periodically. Periodically, there'll be a moment, even with your 30-year-old son, where you'll have a moment where you just talked about it, where you just having another, we got to have one of those reality check moments, and let's bring it back full circle to understand that I'm your father, boy. I ain't what, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's been a great 3 months, a great 6 months. It's been a great year. We haven't had to have this moment, but every now and then I got to bring you around, because you getting caught up. You forgot. So I got to remind you.
Right.
Is Calvin doing that with Tank?
No.
And doing that with Tank?
And that's the thing. You see, the brother, he said, I think that, what did he say? He said, Algernon Brown. But I think, he said, but what if they are giving Tank sound advice and Tank seems to be too big to take it now? But you got to remember, for every action is a reaction. There was a point in time when he was young and he was able to absorb that discipline and advice, and they were being fans.
Right.
Yeah. That's where the problem lies. So now, for every action is a reaction. Now he grew up into his man, and now what'd you expect? Like Clay just said, I ain't here to be your friend. If they was being his friend, and I seen it firsthand, some things, and I'm like, bro, what? They was. This is a true story. They didn't want to be seen in the locker room with Devin when Devin was supporting Truck Fight in Phoenix. They didn't want to be seen in the locker room. Because Tank's reaction. What?
That's crazy.
Think about that.
Yeah, I am. That's crazy, bro.
Truck. Listen, listen. Somebody, I'm just saying, somebody was in the locker room. They was like, "Hey, film them. Look, they scared. Why y'all in this locker room?" They said, "Blue, film them. Why you in this locker room with Devin Haney?" And they were like, "No, I'm not in the locker room with Devin Haney. Devin Haney in the locker room with me." And somebody's like, "Film it, Blue, and send it to Tate." What you mean? Now just take this into consideration. Now take this into consideration. Imagine Eddie Reynoso training Keyshawn Davis, right? Hypothetically speaking.
Right.
He training Keyshawn Davis and Terrence Crawford in the locker room.
Right.
And Eddie Reynoso's like nervous to be in the locker room because he don't want Canelo to see him in the locker room with Terrence Crawford.
Right.
What?
Right. And as big of a star as Canelo Alvarez is, I think if you were to press Eddie Reynoso, I think Reynoso would just look at him like he was crazy. Like who you talking to, bro? Like you can see, like Eddie Reynoso is Canelo Alvarez's leader. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a man, you got your children, your wife. I don't run you in your personal life, and when it comes to this boxing, you look to me for the answers, bro. I do not look to you. I am the most vital part of the dynamic that has you here today, Canelo, because I've been here since the beginning. I'm your trainer. I'm your everything. I've never let you down. We're not gonna mess around with that exchange, with that pecking order. You know, Teddy Atlas, you could see like Teddy Atlas wasn't going to play that game. You know what I'm saying? Hence why he's not even, commentating on boxing no more, but definitely wasn't trained. There's a relationship here. We're not going to do this.
To give you a perfect example, right, Clay?
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Mayweather Sr. It is Maya Egypt. Floyd Mayweather Sr. He trained Oscar. He didn't give a damn what Floyd thought.
Straight up. Didn't even think twice about it. I'm over here. What?
Right. That's my son. I taught you. You don't want to speak to me? Don't speak to me. I taught you. I brought you here, bro.
Yeah. We're not doing that.
I'm getting this bread and I'm training Oscar De La Hoya.
That's it.
And the only reason he ain't training him for the fight, he said, I'm not training nobody to beat my son.
Right. Right.
That's what he said. He said, I'm not going to train nobody to beat my son.
Right.
I'll train Oscar after the fight is over.
Right. Listen, bro, you saying you talking for real right now. Like, I don't listen, bro. You can't never repay me. So don't try. Just be respectful. You feel me? That's it. You can never repay me. You can't the bill ain't never done. You know what I'm saying? I pop that nut to create you. I put the boxing in you. I've trained you from a young age. All that discipline, all the going without of playing with kids outside and get all that stuff. I did all that. And even in my absence, you're welcome. Even in my absence, you're welcome. Don't ever get it twisted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't ever get it twisted. Even in my absence, you're welcome.
Right.
If me and you going through, we don't talk for 3-4 years because you know what I'm saying, you just can't get over yourself or whatever have you. You still welcome. Because you ain't where you at without me. You don't push me out the way and make me not count. I'm it. And you know it. Calvin doesn't have that with Tank.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That authoritative. Hey, bro.
It doesn't seem like he has, at least.
Listen, bro. It's just like it's Clay. Just like with a woman, right? If she knows she can run over you, you're gonna stay. She's gonna run over you. If she think that for you, if you lay the law down, bro, if you do that again, I'm out. And she know you really gonna leave, things is gonna be a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you gotta stand on something.
Yeah.
Ain't no way you demoting me to a cut man and a towel boy. Bro, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Just go with another trainer, no problem.
Yeah.
And I'll see you at the fight. I'll see the games he played.
Right.
Are they going to be in the corner? We'll see. No, we ain't going to see. I ain't being in your corner.
Right.
Yeah. Simple. Somebody will ask me, no, I'm not going to be in this corner for this fight. And it's cool. It is what it is. That's the difference. Love my kids. Peace of blessings, Queen in the super chat. Dropping that Cinco. All in super chat. She said, Salam, Blue and Clay. Blessings to you, Queen. Now, Clay, stylistically, right? With Shakur and because I'm looking at Shakur and Antuanne Russell, and I'm like, bro. Southpaw, explosive, rough, rugged. I'm like, bro, that's going to be a very, very tough physical fight for Shakur. If he don't have the punching power to keep Gary Antuanne Russell off him, how do you win that fight? I just don't see a scenario in which Gary Antuanne Russell gives him any type of breathing room.
That's a test, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a crazy test. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a crazy test. Gary's just, Shakur hasn't had the opportunity to show us things as well that we want to see. We just know from the eye test as well from him because fighters don't want to fight him. You know what I mean? They don't want to fight him. So he's had to fight these other fighters that people will have the same argument on and be like, yo, bro, we ain't never seen the best of Shakur. He ain't never fought like the best in class, you know what I'm saying? That was there for him because they didn't want to fight him. He had to fight whatever he could get. Gary Antuanne would hands down be the best fighter Shakur Stevenson's ever fought against. Hands down. Would be a test. I'll tell you like this. It'd be such a testament for him to beat Gary Antuanne Russell. It would literally, Gary Antuanne Russell can replace Tank as far as a necessity. If he beats Gary Antuanne Russell, he really don't need to fight Tank. You know what I mean? Tank needs to fight him. You know what I'm saying? If Tank won certain props, but Shakur don't. Shakur wouldn't. Beating Gary Antuanne Russell would be a huge feat. Same thing for Tank, by the way. If Tank were to fight Gary Antuanne Russell, that would check a lot of boxes. That would check a lot of boxes. That's not a fight that you take lightly, and that's not a fight that you sit here and shrug your shoulders at. I'm like, yo, bro, so what? But listen, man, that's a fight kind of like, I don't want to sit and compare it all the way like that, but it gives me Canelo Terrence vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas it's like Canelo's is such like this, he's the bigger, stronger guy, right? Supposedly all these boxes that he's going to check that Terrence is going to have to overcome. It's kind of very similar to Shakur versus Gary Antuanne. But at the same time, the same way I won't bet against Terrence, I would have Shakur winning that fight. That's what I would go with. I'd go with Shakur winning that fight, and I think it'd be amazing to see how exactly he would do it. But I'm going with him. I'm going with Shakur to win that fight.
I'm going with Shakur as well. And I'm just so curious to see how he keeps him off him, right?
Movement, punching, catching him with shots. You know what I mean? Delivering some real shots. I think I think the whole Shakur don't punch hard thing is kind of over exaggerated. I'm not going to say it's a lie. But I'm gonna say it's over exaggerated. The idea that he don't got that pop. I think the big thing is the consistency of the pop. The consistency. How can you keep up the pop? Can you take a round off like you said you would do? You know what I'm saying? In that interview when you said, yeah, my hands messed up, so I might have to take a round or two off. You know what I'm saying? To let what do he say? To my hands numb up a little bit, but then I'll be back right on there putting them hands on them. Is he gonna be able to have those moments with Gary? But with Antuanne specifically,
right? It think about this, right? Right. If Shakur beats Gary Antuanne Russell at 140 pounds, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a hold. It's ain't
no
more talk.
I don't see nobody beating him.
Gary's probably the biggest test.
That's the biggest test. Like, that's the toughest test of his career.
Yeah, and at 140. And at 140, the biggest test he could have at 140. If he beats Gary Antuanne Russell, he can legitimately beat everybody else in that division. You know what I'm saying to you? He legitimately beats everybody else in that division. Can he lose? Anybody can lose. It's boxing. It's boxing. Anybody can lose. We don't need to play that game. You know what I'm saying? To say he can't lose, nah. But I'm going to say every fight becomes very interesting because I don't know who's going to do it. Who am I calling? Like I said, it's just like Terrence for me. It's just hard for me to bet against Terrence. I don't care he's going against Canelo, and Canelo did this and does that, but I don't care. He's Bud. He's Bud.
Right.
From what I've seen from this man, if he says he can do it, he can do it. And he probably will do it. Probability says, in hindsight, says he will do it. The only way you convince me you beat Bud is by beating him. When you beat him, and we speak from hindsight, we will acknowledge the fact that you beat Bud. But until then, no, we're not doing that. And it's the same thing with Shakur. Until you beat Shakur, no, I don't play the game. I don't play the game of Shakur, you know what I'm saying, is going to lose. I don't do it like that. I don't do it like that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. When he loses, then he'll lose, and we'll see it. We'll see it happen then. But it makes it very interesting. And if him and Eddie Hearn can get on the same page and Turki can get on the same page, I think even the PBC will get behind this. Also, the strength of beating Shakur, they'll get behind this. I'll tell you what, though. The Tank situation the Tank situation is fading away with Shakur and Tank. It is, if they make that fight happen. If they make that fight happen and Shakur beats Gary Antuanne, it's going to be like, it's not going to be necessary for the Tank fight like that. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just such a major test. It's like, it's the ultimate test to me. Like, it's the ultimate confirmation. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. No,
like,
it is.
He's him. That's the confirmation.
That's the fight. Just to know that Gary, and everything, the stars just lined up right? Like, Gary won that fight in Gary showed us in that Rayo Venezuela fight that he's really him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he's really him. Like, he showed us the one-sidedness of that fight. The complete mastery over Rayo Venezuela, somebody who's on the trajectory, going in the right direction, with Robert Garcia, who showed us the best version of himself against Isak Pitbull Cruz. And Gary just showed the world, not only was he better than Rayo, but Rayo did not belong in the ring with him. You feel me? It was just a mismatch at the highest level. This dude did not rank to be in the ring with him. He separated himself from Rayo and pretty much the rest of the 140-pound division, outside of the exceptions that are in that division. Tefimo, you know what I mean? Outside the exceptions to the rule, we know right now Gary Antuanne Russell's the best 140-pound fighter right now in the game. For Shakur to beat that puts Shakur at a whole nother level. That really does. That really does, man. This does for Shakur what beating Errol did for Terrence to a degree, more, or even more, because Terrence was already that guy before he went there with Errol, but still had a lot of, people still were questioning him. And, after that fight, he just became like the best thing since sliced bread around the whole world. I think it proved something to his damn self after he beat Errol. Now all of a sudden he wants to fight Canelo. He's like, bro, I'm nice. Like, I knew I was nice, but I'm nice. I'm nice. I'm saying that to myself. Like, as much as I celebrate myself and I think I'm him, I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't until after I beat the dog out of Errol that I, you know what I'm saying? For my damn self, I had confirmation. Bring Canelo's ass over here.
Yeah.
That's what will happen with Shakur. I just feel so bad that his hands are in such bad condition, man. I feel so bad, bro, because I just know he's capped. I feel like he's capped. There's a ceiling. Like, no matter how nice he is, you just know he'd be that much better with his hands on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just know, like, yeah, man, no matter how nice he is, he'd be so much better if his hands were in better condition. You know what I mean? It is what it is. They say excuses. Maybe. I can't wait to see Gary beat the brakes off of him. Now, I'm sure you can't, man. That's a reason for the fight to happen, man. That's a good reason for the fight to happen.
Cali World, peace and blessings, Queen. OP, why you want to see Gary beat the brakes off Shakur? I'm just curious. Love my kids. Peace and blessings. The Queen in the super chat dropping that She said, I was hoping Tank-Roach fight would be here in DC, home for Roach and close to home for Tank. Why Vegas? The money.
Oh yeah, the money, the taxes, everything.
Yeah, it's the money. again, the East Coast, New York, DMV area, so on and so forth, we just don't care about boxing that much.
Right.
Like we'll support it, but the advertisement, the whole city, when you go to Vegas, the whole city will conform to or concede to the fight, right? The billboards, the nightlife, like it will absorb the fight, right? In New York, you ain't gonna see that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see that. You know what I'm saying? DC, you're not gonna see that. Virginia, like we ain't gonna start supporting it until 2 days before the fight. Just the facts of the matter. You know what I'm saying? But in Vegas, oh man.
Yeah.
People
and it's the whole city
out.
too. It's a whole strip that's gonna kick it up. Like everybody's gonna get involved. The grand arrivals all the way to the end.
Everything. And the reason being, right, Clay, is because people want to be involved because they got to travel now.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
100%. If I'm here, I'm going to take advantage of every piece of this thing, because I done spent so much money and sacrificed so much to be here. I'm not missing none of it.
Right. I gotta fly out there. You know what I'm saying? People make it a whole thing. Born Rich, what's up? People, Duncan Penny, what's up? If people going to make it a whole thing, right, Clay? They're going to make this a whole, you know what I'm saying, experience. Like, oh man, I'm gonna come out there all week. It's just solely focused on that. When it's in New York, like I said, like Queen, you could walk up to the venue and buy tickets.
Just like that.
You ain't gonna do that in Vegas. Oh no. Fight night? That ain't gonna happen.
100%.
Exactly, JD. And the rematch is bigger. So because the rematch is gonna make it be even bigger, you want to sell it. You know what I'm saying? So
100%.
you know,
Yeah, man. Big fight for Shakur and Gary Antuanne Russell. If Gary decides to do it, especially if it happens at 135, Lord have mercy. That helps Shakur for sure. He'd be the A side. It wouldn't be far-fetched. Gary said he'd be willing to go down there. Gary's hungry. Gary Antuanne Russell's so hungry right now, bro. Man, that win was a big win for him against Mario. It was a culmination for him and his whole family, man. Gary Antuanne Russell is dialed the hell in, the F in. He's dialed in, bro. He's like, whatever. I don't care. He's ready to move on. He's doing the thing that you want to see Edgar Berlanga have done. You want to see a Tio would have done, which is, now I want to fight everybody. Right. Now that I've done this, I'm not a star. I'm an animal. I'm about to show you how much of a star I am. Forget about, I'm not a star yet. Everybody's giving me this attention. Now I'm about to show you guys that I'm a star. I'm about to beat up your favorite boxer's favorite boxer, bro. I'm going to beat him up. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I need to do. I need to get active. That's what you want to see from a fighter who's showing you signs of being great. You want to see that energy that Gary said in the ring when he said, I want all the other belts. I'm coming to unify all of them, starting with Puello.
Right.
And I'm coming for everybody. I'm taking all these belts, bro. The whole division. He said, I'm going for straight unification, bro.
But again, Clay, it's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He again, we seeing the difference with some people love the sport, Clay. Some people don't.
Yeah.
He loves the sport. He wants to be known when it's all over as a great.
And he got his family, his name. He's into it. He's bought in. Like, this is about the Russells. This is about all of us. This is a lot's riding on his shoulders, man. The Gary Russell, Antuanne Russell story may be one of the most interesting stories in boxing when it's all said and done. When he's all said and done.
But Clay, it goes back to what we was just talking about. It goes back to what their father instilled in them.
100%, man.
Right.
And he passed on.
Right. He passed on, and they feel obligated to honor his name.
Even more, bro.
Even more.
It doubled and tripled down on everything, bro. Did you see how his brother was crying outside that ring, bro?
Yeah. You seen him jumping on the ring?
Yeah, the whole family was like, this is something they've been working on together to keep together to get to this point.
Right. And so here's the thing, right, Clay? he like, yo, I had to do this for my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy for myself. I'm happy for my family. I did this for my family. Lechi Puma Scale, what's up, family? That's where the difference lies, but
yeah, DC has a reason, has a fighter to get behind, bro.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And shout out to Lamont Roach because he's on his mission as well. But the Russells have that, the brothers, the name holds weight in DC when it comes to this boxing thing. And to see Gary show out the way he showed out, man, the city he's gonna, if the PBC don't capitalize off Gary Russell, bro, the Russells and Gary Antuanne, and put them resources behind these guys like they supposed to, they're gonna waste. They're gonna waste. They're gonna waste. You know what I mean?
yep,
They're gonna miss out on that one.
yep.
They're gonna miss out because listen, there's a lot of people who saw what happened that night on that tank card. There's a lot of people who saw that. A lot of people, not just fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mostly fans, but not just fans. There's also a lot of people who's thinking about boxing, who's thinking about who we gonna invest in next, who do we want to sign, who are looking at that like, boy, I could do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how the brothers was crying? Did you see the celebration? You ain't hear this nigga talking about money. You ain't hear him talking about all these things. You heard him talking about unification, legacy. I mean, oh man, we can get in on this. We can get in on the movie.
And you know why, Clay? And this is why, and this, again, no disrespect to anybody else, right? I want to see Gary. I said that Shakur Stevenson fight, a big reason, because I know Turki gonna give Gary that bag.
Huge bag.
Huge bag. He gonna give him a huge bag to fight Shakur. Huge bag. And it's not something that they even looking for. But I know he gonna give it to him.
Yes.
He gonna give them a huge bag, bro. They deserve it. I want to see them get that huge bag. Gary Russell Jr. never got that huge bag. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them get that massive bag. He gonna get at least $3 million.
Oh, bro, it's gonna be more.
It's gonna be more than that. But I'm saying at the very least, he gonna get $3 million.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be closer. I think it'll be over 5.
Yeah.
I think it's big enough. I think it's big enough.
I think so too. 1,000%. But they just deserve it as a family, Clay. They deserve it as a family.
Yeah.
Big Money said Rio pissed it out. Yeah. But again, I mean, Donnie D, 1954, Triple OG. What's up, family? Ready to Rumble, aka Alan Maddox, my brother in the super chat, dropping that Cinco on the super chat. He said, "Facts, Blue. Don't try to get a room on fight night last minute. You better book in advance, or you'll be sleeping slumped over a slot machine laughing." Yeah. Oh, that's a fact. Vegas is different, bro. It's a whole event. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different, man. It's different. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, you want it to be in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You want it to stand alone. Bright lights. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else going on in the city. That's what you want. That's what you want. You want it to be a whole night. You know what I'm saying? A whole experience, a whole week. You know what I mean?
For sure, man.
You know what I mean? For sure.
What do you think about Edgar Belanga's, not to move it, but you know what I'm saying? And I also want to kind of talk about these fathers. It's jumping all over the place, but kind of like with the Chris Eubank. I don't know. Have you been paying? Did you watch the Piers Morgan's interview with the Conor Ben and Chris Eubank?
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing to watch. Mm-hmm. And it was because of Chris Eubank, not because of Conor.
Right.
Conor's cool. Conor's fired up. Conor wants, you know what Conor wants to do. You know what he comes to do. But Chris Eubank turns out to be a very interesting person, right? The way he carries himself. And there's some honor and integrity to the way he carries himself. It gets a little cringe at times because he stays petty with it. But what do you think about? And the reason I think about it is I see how dysfunctional and toxic him and his father's relationship end up being. And I look at the Schofields, right? And this is about fathers and you know, father-son duos in boxing. And you see how Chris Eubanks Sr. really has like cut off all contact with his son, right? Kind of similar to what you were saying earlier. Like, you ain't gonna play with me, you know what I'm saying? And put me in the background. I'll just step away completely. Ain't no second, third, fourth. I'm the guy who got you here. And then you kind of see Schofield Sr. with his son, the way that just looks, I'll be honest with you, borderline dangerous. It looks like dangerous to me.
And again, Clay, we just said it. Look at the difference.
Exactly.
Look at the
what do you
difference.
think about that?
It's expected, right? It's the boy, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out this world mentality. Right. I taught you this. I don't ever get it twisted.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And regardless of how their relationship plays out or how it's always still going to be a pecking order, a sense of respect. You know what I'm saying? I instill morals in you. I instill a legacy, a history. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Eubanks, regardless of his antics, regardless of the things he does, like you seen Senior was like, the whole egg thing embarrassed him. You know what I'm saying? Embarrassed his last name. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Junior is like, yeah, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But I still got to be me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's just they're interesting characters. They're needed for the sport, though. You know what I'm saying? I really wish they was here in the States, but again, if they was here in the States, their mentality may be completely different, right?
Right.
So, but the way they approach the sport is different than anything we witnessed. You know what I'm saying? They have a different level of, they're very proper, right?
Right.
But they can be like very sarcastic and disrespectful just in a proper way. Right. And it's like they are the proper rich people, and Conor Ben is the ones trying to make it, right? It's like, right? Don't you get that feeling like it's the rich kid?
You get that that's the feeling they want to give, but Conor Ben is the rich kid. He is the rich kid because Chris Eubanks, they might push it, but the reality is Chris Eubanks Sr. lost it all at one point in time, and they lost it all, home, money, and everything. And Eubank Jr. had to live a very common pedestrian life. You know what I mean? He had to get into a lot of fights at school because he was in a school to where people were like, oh, you the rich kid Chris Eubank who came, what you doing over on this side of town? He has that part of his life that that people don't talk about enough with the Eubank family, right? He had to get it all back. Really, Conor's the rich kid. He's the one who grew up, whose father made the right moves, who's just rich the whole time. There was never a broke period of time. He grew up that way. He really grew up spoiled. So there's a contrast where there's a misappropriation of facts almost, right? Where Conor Bennett's really responding to Chris Eubanks like, bro, you're not who you portraying to be, bro. But Chris Eubanks is like, you got me twisted. Me being able to articulate myself and speak the way I am isn't because of how rich I was. It's because I come from an educated background because of my father and the way I was raised. You are the spoiled one. You're the rich kid. You're the one who had a foreign car when it was time to get your driver's license and you got your car. You didn't need to do this. You did this because you wanted to do it. I did it out of necessity. I actually did it because I wanted to get out of my situation. It's deep, and I think that's where Chris Eubanks Jr.'s mentality comes from, with his lack of patience and his lack of empathy for Conor. Right? He has no empathy. He has no patience.
I think that we look at it as a rivalry, right?
Right.
I think Chris Eubanks Jr. looks at it as a curse.
Right. For him, it's pain. There's pressure on my shoulders. This is I don't want this. You little spoiled brat. You talk so you so happy. I'm not happy about this. This is nonsense for me, bro, that I gotta do all this. It's a big reversal in what people may have thought it was going into it. That Chris Eubanks is one wearing the Louis Vuitton jackets and he's always dressed up and he's the privileged one. He is not the privileged one in this situation. He's the one with the damn curse with the gift and the curse, with the burden of his father's last name, whereas Conor Benn has the joy of his father's last name. There's a hungrier fighter in between the both of them. They're both driven in their own ways. Conor's driven with pleasing his father and doing those things. Chris Eubank is, like there's a lot. They're both driven. It's just different things going on. And that interview with Piers Morgan, it was just interesting. It was one of them interviews I watched twice because Chris Eubank is just not a he's not to be played around with, bro. He's not to be played around with. He takes himself very seriously. He's not just pushing a facade for the space to enjoy or to hate. He's really like, I'm really not playing with none of you. I really don't, you know what I mean? I don't look down at you guys because you're beneath me because I'm richer than you. I look down on you guys because I think you guys are soft. I think you guys aren't really cut like me. I'm really a whole like disciplined, mean, you know what I'm saying, type of person, and you're just having the time of your life. I'm not having the time of my life. I'm going to beat the F out of you, bro, when we get in that ring. I'm mad for real. I'm feeling some kind of way for real. And I'm just quiet and well-spoken and, you know what I'm saying, to have some poise in the way I speak. But this is really a whole problem for you guys. Right. Conor is sleeping. This fight is going to be better than what people are anticipating it being. This might be fight of the year level competition the night they fight, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This might be fight of the year.
Yeah. I think it definitely has fight of the year written all over it. I think it's being overlooked because Chris Eubanks never won a real official title like that, right? Conor Benn tested positive for banned substance, got suspended. The weight class, the separation in the weight class, you know what I mean? And I think that, most people are looking at it from a standpoint of just being a UK family rivalry thing instead of a universal boxing situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think I think you 1000% correct. I think it definitely has fight of the year written. I'm super excited about this fight.
I am, man. I am. And people ain't talking about it like that over here in the States. I don't see people talking about it like that, but man, this just has great intangibles to it that if people follow, man, this might be must see boxing.
Yeah. Salute my brother. Real boxing facts and opinions. My brother Big Rich in the building. What up, Rich? He said he is hungry. He ain't had money for years.
Yeah, man. You talking about Chris, or is he talking about Conor? You gotta be talking about Chris.
Talking about
Chris Eubanks, right?
Chris Eubanks, yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, bro. And I don't know who I'm rooting for, but I'll tell you right now, I'm looking at Chris Eubanks different than I did. Piers Morgan did such an excellent job. That was one of the best face-off interviews I've ever seen. I don't know if I've seen better.
For Sammy Chiba, yes, sir. Man, we ain't missing that.
Oh, yeah. No, we ain't missing good boxing, bro. We're not missing good boxing, bro. That's not happening, bro. We're not fooled. We're not missing good boxing, bro.
Yeah,
that's gonna be some fire-ass boxing, bro.
We for sure gonna do that. Oh, 1000%.
Yeah, bro.
1000%, man.
We ain't gonna sit here and say fight of the year candidate and then not watch it.
Yeah, no. Ain't no way.
We watch Tyson versus Jake Paul, bro. We ain't missing this fight, bro.
Man, we watch worse.
Exactly. We watch way worse. What I'm saying. We watched a pointless fight to a degree and called it. And called it. Straight up.
Liba 9-6, my brother in the building is super chat. He says, salute, great bros. Keep up the great work. Great convo. Salute to your family. Blessings.
Yeah, salute.
Well, let's get on out of here, Clay, man. 9:30.
Yeah. Nah, no doubt, man. It's about that time. This was a good show, man. This was a good show. Yeah. I don't know what we politicking about tomorrow, but I definitely want to highlight. I want
to get into what we didn't get into is T.O. versus Shakur.
Right.
And should Turki And don't answer these questions because I want to
Nah.
answer them all. But I want to talk about, should Turkey push for Boots to fight Tio like he wants next, or should Turkey allow Boots to go ahead and unify the belts against the other champions like Brian Norman? Let Tio go ahead and fight Shakur Stevenson and these guys, and then, you know what I'm saying, put Boots on the undercard, right? Again, no disrespect to Boots and Bozy. They know I love
it. It is what it is. They understand. They better
yeah,
understand.
I'm just talking about the unification bouts. You're talking about bigger names. Let Shakur fight Tio. Let Boots do what he do, because I just feel like, I want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about that.
I also want to highlight a little bit and speak on, because we didn't talk about David and Caleb. We didn't talk about Benavidez and Caleb Smith.
And yeah, that's another one I want to talk about that.
We didn't talk about that. And I also want to like put some perspective on this Edgar Berlanga show.
Yeah, he just posted too. Man, I'm really a free agent with sad faces.
Yeah, bro. That's what he said, right?
Yeah,
with sad faces, right? Yeah, we gonna talk about him, bro. Yeah. Because I think there's been a lot of fronting and capping, and bro. We gonna talk about that.
I think he mismanaged his situation.
100. It looks like it. It looks like it.
It looks
from
like
the outside looking in, and Eddie called his bluff.
Yeah,
Eddie,
exactly.
What Bob Arum did with Shakur, Eddie. What Bob Arum tried to do with Shakur, but Shakur went and found it. Right? It was like, actually, I am him. Eddie did the same thing to him and said, if you really believe that you're this big star, that you're this guy that I'm mishandling, that you really supposed to be packing out Madison Square Garden and packing out all the biggest arenas because you just fought a fight, a 12-round fight that you lost with Canelo Alvarez. Show me.
Show me.
I'll let you show me. I don't believe you, bro. Show me.
Yeah.
And now he got the sad faces on in the tweet.
Yep. Greg Abernathy, brother in the super chat, dropping that dub on us. He said facts, and I hope that put Russell on this next Tank card used him.
Yeah, no doubt. Facts, and I hope that Russell on this next Tank card used him. Facts, and I hope that put Russell on this next Tank card use him. It like he using Tank, like basically saying, I hope.
Like he using Tank to bolster his name.
Yeah, like he main event.
Helped him. Are you saying to help Gary, give him exposure? Because it did. That's what Clay was saying, that the whole world seen Gary. They can't unsee what they saw.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Shout out Alan Land said the night is early, Clay. Call in tomorrow. I ain't got work tomorrow, bro. When y'all gonna get with my schedule, bro? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, bro. How many times can I tell you this, man?
They want us to keep cooking. No, we're gonna come on earlier tomorrow, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, but it's 9:30, man. So we appreciate y'all coming through, starting up, holding us down, and showing us love, man. Much love to each and every one of y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Oh yeah, hit the link if you haven't done it at the top of the screen, man, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, I'll be on tomorrow morning. I will be on tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. We'll be popping, doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? Talking about this boxing, man. Come join us.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Can't wait, man. J King Husky, salute, family. But appreciate y'all coming through, starting up, holding us down. Take a moment right now, click the link, subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain channel. The link to his channel is pinned up right there in the chat. Once again, click the link, subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain channel is pinned up in the chat. And he will be on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 10 a.m. Central Time, and that's 8 a.m. on West Coast Pacific Time. So make sure y'all tune in, man. Tomorrow, I'll be tuned in as I go through my day. That's what I'm listening to, Clay. So salute, man. Click that link, subscribe to my brother Claymore Rain, man. We appreciate y'all coming through. We will be back on tomorrow. Much love to each and every one of y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow us on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. We gone. Peace.
Like that.